A gentleman who had been Mike's side for 12 of Todd's 17 years in purple and black, our friend Drew Goodman, who joins us on the program to talk about Todd Helton's Slam Dunk Hall of Fame case for us. Drew, good morning. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys as well. Happy holidays.
Is it a slam dunk? I mean, I know that I'm kind of talking to a constituent here, so for you it is. But what do you think in terms of the rest of the voting body? Is this finally the year that Todd Helton gets into Cooperstown?
You know, I hope so. As you guys, I'm sure, have documented, he was 11 votes shy last year. One would presume that that will get him over the hump this year. If you pay attention to the tracking, he's around 82, 83%. Usually there's a drop off when you have the ballots that were not revealed prior by about 6%. So that it would put him close, but it would put him over the 75% threshold. You know, I go back to something my dad used to say before we had all these advanced metrics, and he'd say, you know, a Hall of Famer to him is somebody that was a dominant player over a significant period of time and was widely recognized as such. And I think without question, Todd, from a numeric standpoint and from an eyeball standpoint, was a dominant player. Unfortunately, and I feel comfortable saying this, Matt, as you know, I'm a New Yorker, but so many people, I think, have dismissed, not only because of Coors Field, but because they didn't see many of his games, because oftentimes he was playing when people were already in bed on the East Coast, and more of the voting body comes east of the Mississippi tthan west of the Mississippi.
It's a fair statement. It might have explained why he's not in to date. But I want to get inside of this with you a little bit for Todd, because I can recall many days at Coors Field where we're all doing our pregame prep, and you're a guy that's on the field a lot talking to players and coaches. And Todd always seemed to be a guy that you would grab for whatever. When you had chances to visit with him, were you getting into at-bats? Were you getting into his performance, his process, or were you talking team stuff? Share some of the conversations you may have had with Todd that stand out for you over the years.
Well, first of all, I'm laughing a little bit because, Matt, I know you know this. You guys both know this. Todd was a character, and Todd was sneaky, funny, really dry wit. The last person he wanted to talk about on God's green earth was Todd Helton. He was great talking about teammates. He was very candid in talking about the opposition, about maybe the guy he would face. I'll share one story. I remember going up to him very late in his career. It may have been year 17, and I asked him, and I didn't always ask him pointed things, but I asked him, you know, what he was working on. And he looked at me, he said, I'm trying to get better. And it wasn't a one-off kind of statement. He legitimately was trying to get better, trying to improve in his 17th year. And I guess the great ones in any industry, that's how they go about their business. So he wasn't saying, hey, I'm in my late 30s. You know, I'm way past my peak years. I'm way past when I was considered maybe one of the best in the game. He didn't look at it that way. He was still trying to improve. He was still trying to get better. And that always struck me as to one of the reasons why he had the great career that he did.
Yeah, I think of Todd Helton. I think of some of the really good teams he was a part of, some of the really good players he got to play with. And I think of this Rockies franchise, and I mean, you've been around it longer than me, obviously, but when you think about the great Rockies, I assume Todd Helton is on that list, and he's on their Mount Rushmore. Who do you put up there with him, and what makes Todd kind of, if you know, would you call him like the face of the Rockies franchise? And if so, what makes him that for you?
Yeah, and that's without question. Todd Helton is the face of the Rockies franchise, and that's not to diminish all that was accomplished by Hall of Famer Larry Walker. And I think Larry's helped pave the way now for Todd to eclipse that 75% threshold. But if you ask anybody in the Rocky Mountain region, Todd Helton is the all-time Rocky, and it's not close. And Larry Walker would tell you the same thing. Also on that Mount Rushmore, it's really two. I know we want to put four. They've had, many great players. Listen, Charlie Blackmon's coming back for another year. I think Charlie's one of the all-time, great Rockies. Vinny Castilla, 2 tours there. Some marvelous years, certainly, but it will always begin. I think we could have this conversation 50 years from now. It's kind of like a Bronco conversation from a football perspective. John Elway will always be the all-time #1 Bronco. And in the case of the Rockies, 50 years from now, 17 will always be the guy that is #1, looked upon as the greatest Rocky of all time. And let's not forget, and this should enhance his candidacy as well, that he spent all 17 years in one uniform in a sport, really in all of sports now, where that's very difficult to accomplish.
Yeah, I hope voters consider that, Drew. I think that's valid. He is the Rockies' Robin Yount. He's their George Brett. He's their lifetime face man. He also, and you talked about improving as a senior statesman. We have some video here. I'm not sure if you were Mike's side for this one or not, Drew. This is one of my favorite plays ever by a first baseman. He was able to sell this as an out in his age 38 season. We have the video. We're going to roll this. Watch closely. A very close play at first. He sold that as an out. He's 6 feet off the bag. Did you call this?
That's a great angle. Great angle.
Look at that. He got the call on that.
I mean, the LA dugout had a great view of where Todd was. Clearly, umpire did not.
It is so good. Were you Mike's side for that, or was that one of those weird Saturday Nationals?
I believe I was, and I cannot remember what I said, but he was with. Listen. I don't understand what the hullabaloo was. He was within a clear yard of the base.
I don't know. Was he?
In your backyard, growing up, fellas, was that not an out? I mean, relative to the bag, he was there. Ball beats man is out.
You can drive a truck between he and the first base bag.
That is fantastic.
God, is that
good?
That is
fantastic.
That's
Drew,
classic.
We appreciate the visit today, man. Some great points on Todd, and we've been advocates of his for the Hall of Fame for a couple years now, and we feel pretty strongly that this is going to be a good year for him. Yeah. So we'll all be watching less than 3 weeks from now together, and thanks for sharing some thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would tell and implore, I know the votes are all in, but for those fans that are out there, look at his road numbers, and his road numbers historically, you guys know this, are better than guys like Winfield, guys like George Brett. So when everybody says, oh, it's just a Coors Field phenomenon, and we know that altitude takes away as much as it giveth at Coors Field, if you do a deep dive and a serious dive, there's no question he's a Hall of Famer, and hopefully on the 23rd he gets to celebrate in Knoxville.
Great point. We appreciate you. Way to go, Drew. Talk to you soon.